Begin transmission.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Well, here we are. AOM TV's over and the coffee shop is open. I hope everybody's got a nice hot cup of coffee and we're ready to start unwinding. Let's see, check out the chat here and see who all's here. Of course, Jim Largo's here, and so is Wilhelm Toy and Hobby. Good to see you, Will. Bjorn Jorgensen's here. Shambolics to you, sir. A little earlier, I saw Adam from Radical Toys in. Good to see you there, sir. Way earlier, before any of you got here, Ben Stutley came in and he said, "Hey, Bill, hope you have a good one, mate. Great stream last night. If I have an ounce of sense, I'll be asleep by then, 5:30 a.m. my time. Up with you guys till 7:30 a.m. last week and screwed me up a bit." Well, yeah, I know you're in a different time zone there, Ben, but just hang in there. Trapjaw 72's in the house. Good to see you there, sir. And I don't know if he's still with us or not. A lot of people kind of came in a little early. Looks like Susudio's here. Hey, Susudio, how you doing there? Screw Your Feelings has shown up. Good to see you, Screw Your Feelings. As people start to filter in here, do have some guests available. I need to send a message out real quick to a good friend of mine to let him know we're on. There you go. So he knows that we're here. And real quick, before I forget, I want to shout out some folks here. I want to shout out my Patreons. A special thanks to these people: Grindhead Jim, Pope, Will McLaughlin, better known as Wilhelm Toy and Hobby, Jim Largo, who is now my co-host tonight, and Masters Maniac Mexico, our very own Rolo, and my head wrench, Bjorn Jorgensen. Thank you for patronizing this channel and supporting me. You keep the lights on. Thank you so much. And now let's bring in my co-host, Largo. How are you doing, sir?
I am swell. Just waiting for the swelling to go down.
Hey. All right, man. Good to see you. We've got Will hanging out there in the green room. I'll bring you in just a second, Will. Pope's in the house. Good to see you, Pope. And of course, everybody's just kind of winding down from the earlier stream. How's it going there, Will?
Oh,
hey, Will.
I'm muted. Hi, how you doing, guys?
You look like a disembodied beard floating in the darkness there.
So we kind of got the lights down here too.
Yeah, this is Will After Dark.
Up there.
That's right.
Yeah. Here we go. Let me put the display names up so folks will know who they're looking at here. I'm going to be working on an overlay for you, Largo. I might have to kill my extra cam here. I'm starting to kind of get herky-jerky here. But yeah, I'm working on an overlay for you, Largo, so that when you and I are on together, I can pop that up there on the screen, or you can too.
Let's talk about that stylized thumbnail, huh?
You like that?
Yeah.
Getting highfalutin.
Yeah. I did Largo's picture from a picture that he sent me. That's his little icon that he's been using here on Streamlab. The other picture, I'll go ahead and shout this guy out. He's a fellow by the name of Nelson Tunes. You guys may have seen a post that I posted recently on Instagram. He did some work for me recently, and he did that picture as well. So I decided to make use of it. So thank you, Nelson. If you guys want to get a cartoonized picture of yourself, Nelson will do it for a nominal fee. We have another guest here. Welcome, Joneser, to the house.
How's it going, fellas?
Hey, Joneser. Good to see you, buddy.
We're just kind of chilling out in the dark here. I know I'm about half frozen, but I'm going to fix that by doing this. There we go. My toy cam doesn't like to be on at the same time, so I'm just going to have to work around that if I ever have to need to use that. How are you doing tonight, Joneser?
I'm doing okay. Staying busy, bagging and boarding like usual.
Nice.
Studio says, hello, darkness, my old friend.
I'm sorry.
Jimmy Salzberg's in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. And he saw that Clamato can.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Susudio. Bjorn saying hey to everybody.
I was saying, is that the Death of Robin that you got sitting on the table?
Yeah, got a couple copies of it, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that phone-in vote for the Death in the Family.
That was in Death in the Family. I think this is something different, isn't it, Jones?
This was the third Robin, the Tim Drake Robin.
Oh, okay.
Did they kill him off finally?
I want to say they I don't know if they killed him off, but I think they turned him gay or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, I remember they did that. And, of course, they brought Jason Todd back from the dead and turned him into the Red Hood or some shit like that.
Yeah. I don't really keep up a lot with modern DC as much as I do modern Marvel, but both are not what the old stuff used to be.
Yeah, James Salzberg said he called in to kill Robin. So did I. Me and my friends went to we went to a payphone, I think, after
they killed Robin. Bastards!
And we called in to kill him.
Jason Todd was not a fan favorite.
No.
Okay,
no,
Jones,
they killed him.
Hang on, guys. Joneser.
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of this?
What the hell is that?
Brat Pack.
What is that?
Yeah,
Rick Beach.
Not sure if I know what that is.
It came out a while back, but this is the most hilarious take on superheroes that I've ever read. It's part one of a 3-part series, and I've only got the first 2 parts of it. There's this, and there's another one called the Max Immortal. But in this, there's a superhero team called the Midnight Mink, who's flaming gay, and he has his little partner there who is a young boy by the name of Chippy. And this book is about the Brat Pack, which is basically the Teen Titans. That's the sidekicks of the superheroes. And the old Chippy has just died, and the Midnight Mink has gotten him a new Chippy. And the Chippies tend to die over and over and over again, so he's always getting a new Chippy. And a new Chippy shows up in this one here, and we kind of see his story. And I thought that was appropriate, considering we were talking about Robin and Batman and deaths of Robins.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he dressed up Robin in bright red to use him as a human target.
A lot of that has it just seems right, doesn't it? That's what it was. Bjorn says he liked Jason Todd's outfit. I remember when that outfit was designed for him at the end of that. What was that series? It was called where they kind of reintroduced the Robin as Jason Todd. You remember that?
Oh no, they didn't do it in Hush. Gosh, I
This
can't
was
remember.
I'm talking 90s now, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
Right. Now, are you thinking about Jason Todd, or are you thinking of when Tim
Jason
Drake took
Todd.
over?
Jason Todd. As a matter of fact, I've got an album of pictures that were released at the time.
Because
But,
Tim Drake was the first one that had a custom Robin outfit that was different from what Dick Grayson wore.
Yeah, this was the issue where Jason Todd was brought into the fold because Batman had gotten he was overworking himself, and he'd gotten a little too dark, and they decided that he needed a Robin again, and so
Oh no, that is Tim Drake.
That's Tim Drake.
That's
yeah, that's what I'm
Drake.
talking about. Yeah, there was in Batman and Detective, I'm not sure which. There were like 3 or 4 issues where he was in
A Lonely Place for Dying.
A Lonely Place of Dying. That's it. I've got that in my long boxes under the bed there in the bedroom.
And that was a cool one because Two-Face, I believe, was the villain, and then there was some basically the moral was that Batman needed a Robin.
Yeah.
But what I liked about Drake was that he didn't have that like tragic backstory. His parents were alive. He basically just deduced Batman and Robin's identity and kind of got into the fold.
Yeah. Salzberg said he did appreciate that Backduck called his Pokey Pig Robin Decoy. Now, I also remember, do you remember the, who did that? I've got the name on the tip of my tongue. Mighty Mouse, the newer version of Mighty Mouse that came out, I guess, in the late 80s, early 90s. But there was a character called Bat in that, and Bat was a bat who dressed up like a bat in order to fight crime. And he rode around in the Man-Mobile, which was a flesh-colored car with feet on it, and it would and he had a partner called Tick, and the Tick sat up here on his shoulder, and that was his Robin. Do you guys?
Wow.
Ralph Bakshi did that. If you know who that is,
that sounds about right for Ralph Bakshi.
Yeah,
He's
weird,
weird,
way out there shit. I've actually got a bat figure around here somewhere.
I remember there was some controversy around Mighty Mouse and one of my personal favorites, Underdog, because Mighty Mouse used to snort some sort of magic powder to get his powers, and Underdog was a pill popper.
Yeah. Oh, well, Mighty Mouse didn't snort powder to get his powers until Ralph Bakshi got a hold of him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the original Mighty Mouse was, of course, a Superman clone, and he sang. It was a musical always, and that was the old cartoons. Then Filmation got a hold of him, and they did a Saturday morning cartoon with Mighty Mouse in it, and Heckle and Jekyll, if you remember that.
Oh yeah. And
then much later on, I guess in the early 90s or late, that's probably the early 90s. Hey, OBS, good to see you, Denise. Yeah, Ralph Bakshi got a hold of him. Ralph Bakshi went to town with it. I think there was a lot of controversy over that. I Like Salt, the great sir. I Like Salt. Good to see you in the house. Grew up in the 60s, back when cartoons made sense. I like some of the old 60s cartoons. They're big time good. Now, Will, there's nothing but adults here. You don't have to turn your camera off every time you take a vape.
We're not shy about our vices here, sir.
Mm-mm.
We sin boldly.
And Joneser's got a pile of comics there in front of him. Are you working on your business as we talk tonight?
Yeah, I kind of have to. I'm so behind the 8 ball. I've got about a little bit over a month to get this going. And so right now I'm just trying to squeeze about 1,000 comics into bags and boards. And then I will do the painstaking process of trying to grade them and price them appropriately. And I got a long way to go.
You know, I remember way back in the day when I had decided that I was going to take my loose comic collection that was in various boxes, bag and board them and put them in real long boxes. That took for damn ever.
That's basically what it is. But so if it doesn't seem like I'm listening, I'm listening. I'm just whistling while I work, if that makes sense.
That's
You're
perfectly
multitasking.
understandable, and we're just going to leave everybody up, and y'all just hop in and out whenever you want to, as far as talking, because
Proceed, sir. My local comic store, they posted online that they were going to do a sale. It was fill a short box for $125.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was I think it was only back issues $10 and under or something like that. I mean, it was like a crazy deal, and I was really tempted, but I had to work, so I missed the deal.
Hmm.
But it seemed like a kind
That's
of
an
cool
amazing deal.
Yeah. So they
A lot
must
of
be
those old
loaded
back
with
issues
stuff.
that are not as, they're not key issues or what have you. They're still good stories and good art.
Oh, I love it. I love the fact that, and that's what I used to do is because back when we were kids, you'd find an issue on a newsstand or in a grocery store or, convenience store, and then you'd want to find out what happened before and after that. And you
Yep.
might be out of the loop for a while. So you'd go to the comic store and you'd, lay down a couple bucks and buy a dozen or so comics, and get the complete story, or you'd be left wondering sometimes for years what happened. Like
Yes.
I'll
years.
tell you the worst thing that can happen to me while I'm working is I'll find something I want to read.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna stop working and I'm gonna read it.
Uh-huh.
hey, Largo, I'm going to stop my cam for a minute. I'm still going to be
All right.
here listening, but I'm going to try something. Okay.
All right.
Are you gonna start vaping?
No, it's a magic trick.
No. I'll be.
I can
I'll
do a
be
magic
here, but
trick.
my cam's just going to be off.
Do something much.
Look, I disappeared. Oh.
Yeah, Bill's been giving me a crash course on StreamYard and trying to figure out how all the bells and whistles work.
Yeah, I think, like I said, they were talking about Twitch the last stream, and it's just a matter of using it and getting acclimated to it, But
Yeah, it's just a
how many
different
issues
animal.
of ROM did Marvel have? I used to have them all, but I think I got rid of my parents' basement.
Oh, Rom
the Space Knight. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Gojitron would be the
Largo
guy
and
to
I-
ask about that, I think.
We were talking some ROM last time we were on here. I
Mhm.
don't know if we did it on the after show or the on camera or not, but
Yeah, I really like that run. It's a shame that Marvel couldn't keep the rights to keep him in the Marvel universe because he was a good character.
Yeah. And I think you can't say enough for like just organically discovering like a character or a series or something like that. Like I feel like, like I said, it's a double-edged sword of the internet because like all information's available to you, but there's no more sense of wonder. There's no more discovery. Like, because you just pick up a cool cover, start flipping through it, and then you'd be like, all right, I'm gonna buy this and take it home. And you delve down this whole I used to rotate through like my characters. Like for a while I'd be really into Captain America, then I'd get bored of it. I'd go to Thor, I'd go to Iron Man, I'd go to Batman, and kind of rotate through them all, and then hit the comic shop,
Yeah.
try to keep back issues and stuff like that.
Our buddy Jimmy Salzberg's also a ROM fan.
Oh, nice. And
And the Dire Wraiths were great villains. They definitely were.
every time I hit the comic store and I get because I have a pull list, so I get the ones I'm subscribed to. But every time I pick up the pulls, I'll go and walk to the racks and I'll force myself to buy something that wouldn't be in my wheelhouse, something outside of my box, just like
Right.
you were saying, like a cover that popped at you or something that's not in your comfort zone, just to try it.
yeah,
Most of the time, I don't try it again on that particular one. Then sometimes you find a new one that you're going to add to your list.
Yeah, cover art was usually what would grab me. And the fellow at my comic shop, he kind of knew my taste. So I had a little inbox, and sometimes he'd throw something in there. He's like, yeah, try it, see what you think.
yeah. Back when
Now,
comics
Joneser, do you
were-
have a show you're going to that you're getting ready for?
Yeah, it's cards and collectibles. It's actually
Mhm.
mostly for baseball cards. So I'm going to be one of the few people there hawking comic books. So we'll see if that plays to my advantage or not. But it's going to be mostly sports cards and Pokemon cards and baseball cards and things like that. What do we got here? We got a bird going on.
Yeah.
Well,
Bill's been
I was
replaced.
going to say, me matey, that I have a full collection of Bronze Age Batman comics that I acquired digitally. Shiver me timbers, and I would love to have those in comic book form, but if I want to read those wondrous stories from back in those days,
You're talking about digital backups of comics you own, right? Is that what you're talking about?
are
Yeah.
yes, maybe so.
Or maybe someone else
would-
digitized them for you and maybe
Yes,
transmitted them through some means.
yes.
Yeah.
He walked the plank and is now hanging from the yard arm.
So, Jones, what's some of your favorite things you found when you go to a show? Do you go around? Do you have time, or are you just kind of stuck at a table?
Well, this is going to be my first time trying it as a vendor. So I've gone as a guy who's going to spend money many times, but this will be the first time as a vendor. But I've partnered up with a guy so that I can watch the booth and he can go and vice versa. You know, he sells baseball cards and collectibles, and I sell comics, so we're going to split the table. That way we don't cover it for somebody to go to the bathroom or something. So this is going to be my first time. But
that sounds like a good way to do it. So you've got somebody there to watch your back.
Right. And then if you need to get lunch or go to the bathroom or something like that, you know, you'd be like, hey, watch the book. Don't take no less than this for this one. I'll be back. You know?
Yeah, you come back and your table's empty. It's like, I made a great deal for you. I got you these magic beans. No.
Yeah. How great. From what he was telling me, because he's done it before, he said day one, a lot of times the vendors just go from table to table and make trades. And then he said day two is usually the customers. And then he said day three is the fire sale. That's where everybody comes to lowball you, hoping you don't want to put it back in the van.
Yep, that's what they're hoping. It's like, man, you don't want to lug this stuff home. I'll give you pennies on the dollar. It's like, come on now.
And he said sometimes, you know, it depends on how bad you want to take it home with you.
It depends on the show. Yeah. I mean, I was at that one show and some guy just put like a tent cord on his thing. He said, ask me about my last day specials. So
Adam has a question for you, Jones.
What about your last day specials? And he gave away a bunch of stuff.
What's your spot costs at the convention there?
We did pretty good, actually. Because I've asked, there was a Nerd and Out Con up north, and that guy wanted $250 for the weekend. I was like, forget.
Ouch.
Like, I'd have to sell everything I got just to hope to make anything. But no, we threw in, so it was $90 for the weekend. And because I partnered up, it was $45 a piece. So it came down to $15 a day.
Yeah, that's really
reasonable. You've definitely got a chance of making something to make it worth your while. Because you've also got to count your transportation costs and, you know, your lunch and whatever else.
Right.
All that adds up.
What I'm really hoping to do is to just meet some contacts, because the guy says he does the other ones that are more specialized to comic collecting, and there's going to be a couple other comic book guys there too. So I'm just hoping to kind of rub some elbows with some people that are more experienced than me and see if I could sit under their learning tree.
Hey, it's the best way to learn. Like Grandpappy used to say, if you want to learn how to do something good, find somebody that's doing it and just do what they're doing.
Exactly.
You
but remember, never play another man's game.
You know, my Grandpappy always said, find somebody better than you, and then ask them how they got there. You know?
Let's get a cup of coffee going here.
Oh yeah, Jimmy.
So how's everybody's week been?
I've been good. I've had I'm slow at work, and you know, kids have been good. The middle child started basketball, so it's like, well, life's good in the Jones house.
Oh, Bjorn says he thinks he's getting sick. Well, I hope it ain't the coop, and I hope you get well soon there, my brother.
Yeah.
I like Salt said, it is this way in all markets today. It's getting tighter.
Yeah. Profit margins not not too high when you've got a lot of overhead.
Yeah. Well, on this end over here, I'm sure you guys have heard me bitching about this since Friday, but for those of you who do not know that are in the chat and watching tonight, they've ramped up things at work to the nth degree, and oh, my coffee pot's not going.
Yeah, I have a what I call an in-law infestation. My wife has so many cousins and in-laws and outlaws that they just kind of rotate through on a revolving door. I'm glad I've got a guest bedroom because it gets a lot of mileage. So they're nice folk, but sometimes you just want the house to yourself, you know.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely understand.
But you know, it's the holidays and everybody wants to pass through and say howdy and whatnot, eat my food, raid my fridge. That's why I have a secret stash upstairs.
I was always taught, as far as visiting folks, come not often enough to where you're always welcome. That's
a good philosophy.
Yeah, it really is.
What was that Ben Franklin saying? Fish and visitors after 3 days.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
That's about it. Just as true today. Yeah. OBS has got it right.
Companies like fish, it starts to stink after 3 days. That's it right there. I'm lucky I haven't had visitors much here that kind of like stay because I have no place to keep them. We've run out of room in our little cozy cottage here.
Well, my challenge right now is I guess she's my wife's sister-in-law, so she's my sister-in-law because married to her brother. I don't know. Anyway, she's got a small child, and I have a toy collection. So it's like, these you can play with. I gave her, toys that I don't mind that she plays with. And then it's like the ones in the case, we don't play with those. Those are just to look at. They're pretty.
Yeah, little kids tend not to understand that too much.
Yeah.
Lyric did pretty good. Even when he was really little, he was like, Dad, these ones are just for looking at.
Right.
He understood that even at I'd say, 4 and 5, pretty young age.
Have you taught Lyric how to play properly with his toys?
I didn't have to. He kind of just does, which is funny because his older brother did not, so it's funny how different kids are. Lyric has a lot of imagination, so he comes up with his own little scenarios, makes his own little games, and kind of figures it all out. And he's very good about keeping the parts and being respectful. Like, I've even let Lyric take my whole vintage set out, spread it across the floor, and play with it. That's how good he is, that I trust him.
That's awesome.
Nice. That is awesome.
He respects it, and he put it back the way he found it.
And that definitely gives you some ways to connect because you guys can play together.
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the funniest things or funnest things we did is we took some of the Origins figures, really meshed real well with the vintage ones. So we pulled out the Snake Mountain, the Fright Zone, and we just made like a war. Where three-way war. Everybody's gonna battle and they had their vehicles, and we just posed it all up and took pictures and had it all planned out.
Like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's neat, and it you get to bond and share a piece of my childhood with the little one, and then I get to see a new generation experience the same magic and wonder with Masters of the Universe that I did when I was a kid.
Right.
Let me catch up with the chat real quick, folks. So Sudio says that she's battling a respiratory infection and her dad is sick too. She can't win. Well, I hope you get better, baby. I Like Salt says you got to have coffee for an all-night show. Well, I Like Salt, we're going to try something new tonight, me and Largo, and it won't be all night. So We can't do those all nighters all the time. We're getting too old for that shit.
But we still need the
OBS
coffee.
says,
Though.
yeah, that we still need coffee though. Ginseng for respiratory studio. Ginseng tea, he says. Jimmy Salzberg says, my kids knew that too. I still let them run the Lionel trains on the carpet.
Cool.
OBS says, been looking for natural stuff for lung and sinus problems. Cecilia says that she's feeling we gotta eat food with that's why take with food. And Cecilia, one day at a time, says I like salt. Adam has said, do any of you have Fisher Price toy stores in your areas? Yeah, that's where a lot of Motu stuff is ending up, is in Fisher Price. The Motu Origins are in the Fisher Price stores.
Huh. I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mattel run Overstock store.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and then they've been taking some of the overstocked Motu Origin stuff that's not selling or not being bought by vendors and releasing it there.
I've heard Ollie's.
Oh, Adam King Hess is showing up in the Fisher Price stores in New York. Is his point there? That's cool. And yeah, Ollie's is getting a lot of overstock on Motu stuff, from what I understand. We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
What we will.
Yep, heading to Ollie's tomorrow at 6 o'clock. They're doing a special event, 25% off all toys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I'll be there tomorrow at 6.
Good deal. Ollie's
I haven't been there in a while, so I hope they got some good stuff.
Well, the thing is, another thing, that if you got a Big Lots in your area, I understand that the like Thunder Punch, He-Man, and a couple of other things have been showing up in Big Lots at decent prices. So keep that. I think I mentioned last time I was live streaming, if you remember, Largo. Well, I don't know if you were there, and I don't know Rolo was on there with me. I've got a Vintage Point Dread now in my possession. And I said was, "Hey, Brick, something good to see you tonight." But what I said was, now that I have that and it's in the condition that it's in, which is excellent, I might be reluctant to pull the trigger on an Origins Point Dread if and when it ever gets released, which means that I'll just wait instead of suffering from FOMO and getting it immediately. I'll just wait, and pretty soon it'll be clearance somewhere on the shelf. So there you go.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Snake Mountain. I've got a vintage Snake Mountain, and it's not here yet, but it's on its way. It's not complete. I'm going to have to restore it, but that's part of the fun, isn't it, Jones? Or you did the same thing, did you not, sir?
I did, and I did not bargain well for my Snake Mountain, but I did have fun restoring it. So it was kind of a bittersweet pill. I did manage to get one, but beat.
One of the things that I suggest to everyone is, like, when we're suffering from FOMO, take a deep breath. Hang out and not only, don't just go to Evil Bay to find your shit. Hang out in the Facebook groups. There's deals to be had there, and you can haggle much easier one-on-one in a DM with somebody there than you can on eBay.
Right. You kind of inspired me, Bill. I started looking around. I really want a Talon fighter, and the one that came out with the Motu Classics might fit my Masterverse. So I've been kind of looking to see what's out there.
It will. The Classics and the Masterverse are almost the same scale, if I'm not mistaken.
7-inch should be.
Yeah. Because that one had windows. It had a cockpit that could seat 2 figures. It's a little fancier than the original. So
right.
I might pull the trigger on that. I don't know. I'll wait till after Christmas.
All right, I'm going to try something here, guys, and we'll see how this works out.
Our favorite Eternian wizard has popped up.
Well, hey, Eldor, how's it going, sir?
He's just come from the Strandamus toys. I don't know if I said that right.
Let me see what you're seeing in it. Ostradamus Toys Live. That's another channel, Ostradamus Toys. They have a channel here on YouTube, and Master Versal likes to go hang out with them occasionally.
Got it.
You have a good
Ostradamus. That's a
Eldor.
Nice play on words.
I am setting up a different way of casting the toy cam here, so you just bear with me, guys.
Whoa. Got a little echo going there.
Feedback or something.
Yeah, definitely some feedback coming through on your mic.
Yeah, there's a way to fix that. Let me mute myself.
Okay. So Radical Toys is saying that Oz Toys does the Legion stuff. You're talking Mythic Legions, Adam? Because those do pair well with some of the Motu stuff. They're a little spendy, though.
I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it. Adam did a video about these Dick Tracy figures that are coming out. And I must have watched this video Adam did on the news on that like at least a dozen times. And I'm pretty sure this set is going to end up getting my money.
Now, are you talking about the Mezco ones, or is this something different?
Yes.
Those look sweet, but they're spendy.
Yeah, well, I got a year to come up with it, so I figured it's like $19.99 down, non-refundable, and then I got all the way till December of next year to come up with the other $160. But man, I must have watched that video a dozen times, and I've been on the Big Bad Toy Store looking at the pictures, and I'm like, I'm buying this. I don't care. You know, I passed on Eternia. I'm not missing this.
Well, I'm kind of cooled off on Mezco because they've made so many of their pre-orders and promised things, and they just don't deliver on time. I've got a couple of pre-orders for them that are 2 years out now. Some people even longer than that.
Oh, wow.
That's that's a little different. I guess it gives you more time to save the money.
Well, that's true. But let's see, the Batman from 1989 movie and Mr. Freeze that they promised, both of those have been delayed several times, along with a few others. So
I've heard about that Batman, yeah.
Hopefully that just means that they're doing more R&D to get it right, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, the thing that would concern me is they said the 20's non-refundable. So what? The 2-3 years out, I get the thing, and then they go, "Oh, never mind, you're not getting it. Thanks for the $20." 2 years ago.
So far they haven't actually canceled anything. They just take their sweet time getting it out. So yeah. I don't believe they've canceled anything that they've promoted or taken pre-orders for, to my knowledge.
That makes me feel a little better.
They're pretty reputable, and they do really quality work on the cloth goods and all that. They're just, it's a boutique kind of thing. It's a small operation, so they charge a premium, and it takes them a little while.
Right. The one thing that got me with those Dick Tracy figures was one that they looked really cool, and they had all the extra hands and heads and all the stuff, but they had 2 stands they came with, and I thought, man, just those 2 stands. I mean, usually $20-$30 for a high quality stand, and I thought I could use those to do some stop motion stuff. And
and those are a standard with any Mezco. They come with really nice action stands, lots of great accessories that work with anything in the 1/12 scale. And the flat top that they're doing, the villain, I really liked the head sculpt they did for that. It looks good.
Yeah, even the 2 or 3 different facial expressions. I like that we got the more comic booky, old school look to them.
Exactly.
But yeah, I saw those, and like I was a kid again and I've been watching it was almost like you guys were talking about the Sears catalog or whatever for a while. Like I was watching those pictures, and I'm like, I'm getting this. Like I don't care.
Pretty nice.
There we go. How about that, guys? Is that
Yeah, picture looks good.
viewable there?
Oh, that's
Oh
great.
yeah.
Take the live off my face there, but yeah, that's my point, Dread. I can run this iPhone separately without running it through my laptop, and I don't get all the latency issues. But if I try to run this camera on this phone through OBS, it makes everything go haywire. So
Mm.
Jim and I worked on that and kind of had it working really good at one time, but it doesn't work out too well for some reason sometimes. So I thought I would show off that real quick so you guys could see it. And I was going to let you guys know something that might be interesting if you've got vintage toys at the house with vintage stickers on them. You look here at the Talon Fighter, you'll see the stickers are in damn good shape, excellent shape.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, this side, this sticker here was much better than this sticker here, but you can't tell anymore. But when I got this sticker here was peeled up on this end and kind of curling. And I stuck it back down with a secret. And that's Elmer's glue stick.
Ah.
Elmer's glue stick has just the right amount of stickum to re-stick stickers. So
And
if
it
you
doesn't leave any residue on there?
No, it's just like the glue that would come on a sticker, basically.
Cool.
So if you have, like sometimes we'll have stickers that have lost their glue and they're just floating separately and you want to figure out how to stick them back on, vintage stickers. Smear a little glue stick on the back of that, a nice thin layer, and it'll stick right back on just like a brand new sticker.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, I thought everybody would appreciate that. Something I learned a long time ago hanging out with people who were doing superpowers.
Right.
One of the things that you'll find is that if you buy a vintage in box even that's never been opened superpowers vehicle or play set like the Justice League, the sticker sheet will be brand new, never been taken a sticker off of it, but when you pull the stickers off, all the glue's gone off the back of it. It's dried up over the years.
Mm.
And when you stick them down, they won't stay, or there's just no glue there to make them stay. And I was distraught because I bought a new in-box Justice League, Paul of Justice play set,
Mm-hmm.
and my sticker set was for shit. It would the stickers wouldn't stay stuck. And somebody clued me in, take a little bit of glue stick, put a nice little thin layer on the back of that sticker, and it'll stick back and stay.
Yep. Jimmy Salzberg says he uses that trick as well.
Mm-hmm.
Works with his vintage Joe tags and things.
Yep. Glue sticks rock and are water soluble. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Zach Paris stickers. No, I do not have Zach Paris stickers on this set right now. The Talon Fighter came with vintage stickers, and they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I could replace them if I wanted to and make them look shiny new, but they're passable new looking now. So I'm not going to worry about that. The only thing I don't have the little cardboard insert that came in here with everything, but I do.
There was like a computer console or something in there?
Yeah, with a computer console that went in there. Zach Paris makes a punch-out replacement for that looks just like the old one. And I do have an order in. Zach's on vacation until December the 14th, so that means that when he finally does send that out, it's coming from Australia, so that means I probably won't see it until after New Year's, but hey, I'm willing to wait.
Now, with the vintage Point Dread, does it actually fit up on top of Castle Grayskull?
Yeah, it comes apart right here.
Okay.
And it won't match my Castle Grayskull if I were to put it up there. And it's in such excellent, pretty shape. I'm reluctant to paint that at all. I'm going to leave it just like it is. So.
Oh yeah. I don't know why, but that's always been my favorite Motu vehicle.
Talon Fighter is an excellent choice, and I think it's different or unique among Motu vehicles because it has the double cockpit.
There, I'm back.
Right. Yeah, it's a cool looking
Yes.
ship, and it really
Well,
gets that
here's a bit
sci-fi.
of vintage lore. Here's a little vintage lore for you guys that you may not know, but according to some of the internal documents, and if you want to go over to Battle Ram blog,
Bill, your audio's
And-
coming in. At,
look up the Point Dread, you can see. Oh, my internet connection is just it went down to 1 bar, so I may be in and out. My connection may look like shit, so I may need to kill this cam. So I'm going to kill it. All right.
yeah, that seems to help a little bit.
Let me go down here too. Yeah.
All your
Maybe.
neighbors are TikToking or something right now, eating your bandwidth.
Would you
Possibly, but I'm killing that cam. I'll put us all back evenly here. There we go. But what I was going to say was, yeah, there you go. What you got there, Will?
Oh,
What
you
you
got
got?
one of those space trooper, star trooper thingies?
No, that's the Final Faction. The
Oh,
Arrow
okay.
ATV. They did a re-release, the Gold Edition.
Fancy.
There you go. This, so you have to buy 2 things to make this. So the first one's just the ATV, and then the
Mhm.
second one comes with additional panels. You get this little barricade in the front, the bumper, the armor panels, and the guns up top for another $1.25. So this vehicle,
You know, with that
$2.50.
coloration, it kind of reminds me of the ones from that cheesy Megaforce movie.
Yes, this definitely has Megaforce vibes, but yeah, it's real sharp looking.
It's not
And I
words.
gotta tell you, this thing rolls great. I mean, like it glides across the. It's well built, and
Yeah.
I might suggest putting maybe a dot of like super glue on there if you want to keep it. But these pieces can fly off because they just clip on. But it is a marvel of modern engineering. The
Adam
fact
wants
that
to know what scale that is.
they're 4-inch figures.
Right
You got
around
them at Dollar
1/18.
Tree. Yeah, and then also they have the Karn. They have their chariot, their weird alien chariot. And this is the Venomized edition, and
Funky.
it might be too dark, so you can't really see them too well. But yeah, this big 3-wheeled chariot, and then there's the guy on top there.
Now, is that
And-
glow in the dark, Will, or is it just
no,
bright?
no, it's a real bright coloration there. And this, I don't think this has the additional armor on it. I have to dress it up, but it comes with like this gnarly looking like scorpion tail that attaches to it. So we're gonna work on that now. But yeah, these just came out. I just saw them at stores. They only had the gold figures. They don't have the gold figures yet. They just had the vehicle. And I forgot to post it on Instagram because they didn't have them, but they had a stack of boxes in the aisle. And I looked at it and it said Final Faction vehicle. So I cut it open with my keys and I opened it and I took a picture of the whole case.
Naughty.
And I got a couple of each, so I got 2 of each. And the accessory kit that goes to it. But yeah, this thing looks pretty sick once you get these. I have the original versions, but these paint jobs are pretty sweet. But you can't beat it for $250 brand new. Jeez.
Yeah, one of our buddies sent me a care package with the original Final Faction
Hey,
release.
Zazel, how are you? Guys,
Great stuff.
before
Hey,
I
Zazel.
came on here, I was watching Zazel and Ken and Slaughter Daughter and Adam from Go Figure. They did a 6-hour streamathon. It was really awesome. And,
Right, jumping from channel to
yeah.
channel.
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, it was really great. And actually, so I've been going at it since 6 p.m. as well. So
Oh,
Zazel
look at
going
you.
at it.
Look at you. Yeah.
So, well, I was doing a bunch of other stuff too. I ran to Walmart and had dinner and did a bunch of stuff while I was watching. But
They call me
Yeah.
a social butterfly, but Will's the one that's going out there.
well, I was
Yeah,
just in the
hitting all the
chat. I wasn't on the stream. Yeah, I was just in the chat, but it was still a lot of fun. But yeah, totally
Yeah.
awesome. Great community.
Oh yeah,
It really left
they're a good
me.
bunch.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, what a day! It really did. The feelings were real. I mean, it was great. We shared, we laughed, we cried, we
We talk toys.
we talked toys. But yeah, it was a fantastic. I
Well,
can't really. See.
what I wanted to say earlier before my internet connection went poo poo. It's back full stream right now. The lore was that only He-Man could fly the Talon Fighter because
Okay.
only he had the strength in order to control it. And if anyone else tried to fly it, it would just fly out of control because they didn't have enough strength to fly it. In my head canon, I've modified that slightly because it has the double cockpit. As long as you have two pilots in it, you can pilot the thing fine. But only He-Man can fly it alone because he has the strength in order to fly it by himself.
Look
Now,
at this
was-
mean machine. Once you get two pinchers for the front, and then this big scorpion tail that strikes in the back.
Oh wow,
$250. You can't beat
can't
that,
beat
right?
that.
It's
Yeah.
under $5.
And Will tell everyone where the Final Faction toys can be purchased at for those who do not.
Oh,
know.
they're exclusive to Dollar Tree. I think sometimes Family Dollar also, and then there's also like combination stores where it's Dollar Tree on one side and like Family Dollar on the other. But these are just hitting stores now, and they're repaints of all the originals. Let me, I'm going to flip the light on real quick, just so you can see it.
Good night,
That's
Bjorn.
Bjorn is going to go get some sleep. He's got a little headache there. I hope you get to feeling better, my friend. And it's good to have you on for this short period you were here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Bill, you
speaking
were
of Dollar
showing-
Tree,
Oh, go ahead.
Hey, there you
speaking
go.
of Dollar Tree, Will,
Oh
next time you're in a Dollar Tree, hopefully before Christmas, do me a favor. Because I went
Sure.
to my local Dollar Tree and it's racked in there. I mean, people have just destroyed the interior of it.
Hmm.
I was looking at someone's page and I can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was Thanos Copter. But he has a Santa suit on his He-Man figure. And
where'd he get that from?
he got it at Dollar Tree. He got
Really?
it's a Christmas ornament Santa figure
Yeah.
that has, I guess, removable clothes on it. If you go to your Dollar Tree and you see something like that, think of
Yeah,
old Bill.
sure. Can you like email me or like message me a picture of it if you have one? I don't know. Or I'm just saying it would be easier to identify. But I'll look around. They're basically clothes that will fit on He-Man, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And you
Okay.
get the added bonus of having Streaker Santa once you strip him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so these are really great. I mean, I like the repaints. I know recolors aren't the most popular thing, but if they want to keep the line going, because I have
Got to
multiple.
reuse those molds. Yeah.
And those look pretty sharp. I mean, it's a great color scheme. The Venom is just cool, and they venomized the figures too. And maybe you couldn't see that before in the dark, but they're
Oh, I
basically a lot darker, and then they've got this green highlights on them. And I don't know if you remember, the originals were kind of like purplish with like gray and blue highlights. So
Right.
now they're venomized, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a neat twist. Are they still doing the comics, or was that just a one-shot kind of thing?
So they did the comics, and I think they said that due to like poor sales or something, they're not doing the comic anymore, and they might do a digital release. But they did just release the 3rd episode of the animated. They do like a computer animated, like just a couple minute video.
Is
I
that
think
on
they're doing-
YouTube? Or
Yeah, they're on their YouTube channel. Yeah, they're
Oh,
pretty
okay.
cool. Yeah, they're not. I mean, they're very. They're meant for kids.
It's-
So
sure.
the story is pretty basic, but it's not bad. It's not bad.
Well, the biggest thing with this line is they're showing that you can put out a quality product geared for kids that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. And
Oh.
some of the bigger
Yeah.
toys could take some notice
mean,
of that.
like this one doesn't have many moving parts. It's kind of just the sculpt, but yeah, it's just a clump of, they pretty much did this one in one piece. You just put the wheels on it. So, it's not too ingenious. It's just that much plastic. But yeah, if they could sell this for $1 or $2.50,
Exactly.
with the box, which like they do a good job on the packaging too. It's like this, the box opens.
Spotter Jim on Twitter. Who says something about getting a cookie. So
yeah, that's from the show. Yeah, get that cookie is the first episode. But this one I think is just a marvel of modern engineering. The ingenuity, I mean, it's pretty thin if you look at it. They really make use of everything.
all right, Stutley.
The fact that it all works for that cheap, and you could put a guy on the back and he could fire these guns. The guy sits in the cockpit. Some Hasbro or top of the line things can't even get it right where the driver sits in the cockpit and can hold the steering wheel. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And they made it work. So, just the design practice, unless this is a loss leader, you know what I mean? But it came out after, so they have to make money on it. So, they're making a profit on this.
Well, and the great thing is a kid who's, making a little, money mowing lawns or doing a paper route, this is something they can afford. It doesn't break the bank and they can get a cool collection going.
No, and they're also, if you want to
Do
practice
kids still do
customizing.
that? Hang on.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
I don't know.
Do kids still do that? Do they? I don't think they do. I don't think kids have jobs anymore. Even the grown kids live in their parents' basements.
Mine do.
Well, I think the problem is if a kid goes out and starts cutting lawns, they'll arrest the parents and charge them with child labor. I don't know. I'm saying that.
Lord.
I bet you someone could probably Google and find a news story.
I gotta jump in
like
here. I gotta jump in here. I got a 16-year-old, works part-time washing dishes and maintains his grade point average at the local restaurant.
That's great.
He's also saved up, I want to say a few thousand on his own for his car. So you got to rear him up right and show him that work ethic and how to budget. And he's already doing his 401k and saving for his retirement. He's on it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We helped him by learning from our mistakes, you know what I mean, and get him going. I got another one that got into a little bit of mischief, and he owed a fine. And he's working off every red cent of that fine by either he's going to mow lawns or shovel snow now that it's this season, and so I'm teaching mine the value of hard work and
which is something that we all went through. I'm sure at some point when we were kids, we got in a little trouble and had to pay something.
Sure.
Or pay for a repair.
More to Bill's point, do kids do that anymore? They do if their parents teach them that.
Yeah. I had some, the basic hustles when I was a kid of mowing lawns and doing odds but I just blew my money. It wasn't until I got into the service I learned any horse sense.
Yeah.
Paper route.
That kind of reminds me of something. Do you remember, guys, the days in which how a child acted was reflected on the parents?
Yeah.
Yes. I still think that's true.
I know that's true because of my own experience having a child myself. But it seems like in today's world, the parents are not held responsible for their kids' actions anymore. And I think if they were, perhaps they would be more willing to discipline their children better.
Well, and the other part, and I hate to be devil's advocate, argue the other direction, but the way society is now, if you do a normal, I'm not saying abuse your kids and beat them with a stick, but I mean, I think we all had a switch or a belt or something when we needed one. And now you get locked up, you touch your kids like that.
And at our school, we had the board of correction that was on the principal's wall hanging, and he would be more than willing to use it if you got out of line. Now I can't.
Well, if I remember the saying correctly, there, Largo, it's apply the board of education to the seat of understanding.
Yes, sir. I've been a visitor to that principal's office a few times, so I'm well aware.
But I mean, there's a fine line, I think, between discipline and
Of course.
abuse.
Well, of
And
Yeah.
course.
I think that
I think it's
today
pretty easy to
generation
draw the
of
line.
softies doesn't
Yeah.
understand that. They just
Yeah.
think any hitting is abuse, and that's it.
Well, you got
No.
the problem of these helicopter parents that just want to hover and keep their
Well-
little bundle of joy in a bubble, and then you've got the these kids are just turned into snowflakes. If you give them a hard
Well,
look, they cry.
These helicopter parents that you speak of, they're the ones that when the kids get in trouble at school, they go to the school and blame the teacher and everybody
Mhm.
because their little angel didn't do anything.
Right.
Back when I was growing up, if you got a spanking at school, you got another one when you got home because they already knew because somebody had called and told.
Yep.
And
The
yeah.
only time, like Bill was saying earlier about how a child's behavior is a reflection of the parents, and I totally agree with that. But the
Mhm.
one exception I would say, and I've seen it, is there are some children that have a little more going on upstairs, or special needs, or they have, autism spectrum disorder, which Lyric has that to a touch, not like to a hardcore degree, but I mean, he's got a little something going on up there, so he can get a little loud or a little gnarly. And sometimes I gotta take him off to the side, and we gotta, start taking everything from orange to yellow again, before it gets red. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not absolving the parent of the child's behavior, but it is saying that sometimes there are other forces at play.
well, and a good parent will recognize that and take that under consideration and do as you do, take that child to the side and get them to calm down instead of letting them continue to do whatever it is they're doing that's disruptive.
I think it's with a lot of issues that just generalizing broad, an entire generation is one way or another, or people or region or anything like that. If you use common sense and compassion and deal with individual issues, these things are not going to be a problem. But everyone's just like everything is like this blanket statement, that
Mm.
any physical, discipline is abuse. Zero
Well,
tolerance
unfortunately,
for this.
yeah,
Zero
it
tolerance
can
for
also
that.
go the other way. Like with my wife, her dad was kind of a ne'er do well in town. She lived in a small town; everybody knew everybody, and he'd gotten in trouble with the law a few times for some shenanigans. So all of his kids got the reputation. It's like, oh, you're so and so's kid. Well, I'm going to keep an eye on you. Whether they did anything or not, they had their dad's reputation to deal with growing up.
Mhm.
Sure.
Well, there
I
was
know a little
there
bit
was
about that.
Do you?
yeah.
Just a little
No,
bit.
there's
I'm,
a
I'm,
point,
I'm
there's a
the
point I
second
need to
youngest
make.
of
There's a
5.
point
Yeah.
I need to make before we go on. First of all, to the spies at YouTube that are watching us, the bots and whatever, and Susan Wojcicki, mine Susan. None of us are child psychologists. We're just talking in generalizations here. So, with that said, I will say this. There's a couple of issues that I wanted to discuss when it comes to children. First of all, yes, there is a such thing as attention deficit disorder. However, I think that it is controllable without medication. I think that a lot of us would have been medicated on Ritalin if we grew up today. If it and would have been told that we had ADD when in fact we really did not. We were just being kids.
Exactly.
The other thing is, and this is a controversial thing for me to say, I'll say that up front because a lot of people don't believe this, but I do. I've seen it. There are what we call bad seed children. No matter what you do as a parent, no matter how well you try, that child is going to do bad and wind up in juvie and end up in prison when they get grown and be strung out on drugs. And you can do everything in the world to try to help them, and nothing will, except what do they call it? Some tough love. You just got to let it
Tough
happen.
love.
And that does happen. And if anybody here that's listening has a child like that, my heart goes out to you. I really
Yep.
do.
Back in the day, I don't know if they do it anymore, but they used to have a program where it's like, well, you got a choice, boy. You can either go to jail or you can join the Marines.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. They don't do that anymore at all. If you've got stuff like that, they can't force you in the military anymore like they used to could. So Studio says now if you discipline children, you get an idiot counselor at school who's been telling the kids that the parents spanked them, they're abused, and the kid tells the counselor, and now you're the abuser.
Wow.
Yeah. The thing about drugging kids, do you believe? Because I believe that there is a financial incentive to prescribe more of a certain drug, and that doctors definitely get kickbacks for that. Because I do.
Well, damn, yeah, they do.
And
Yeah.
I believe that sometimes when you're sitting in a doctor's office, they're just looking for keywords that'll steer you towards a prescription. And, they want to keep you on that prescription as long as possible. And this goes towards children and everything,
It sure
And
seems
I-
that way because when we were growing up, the first thing that a doctor would say is, well, have you tried counseling or have you tried this or that? Drugs was not the first option.
And I'm not saying every doctor, but I'm just saying anytime
Sure.
that there's a financial incentive, the temptation's there.
Absolutely.
The temptation's
Well,
there
the other
to
thing that I
amass more wealth.
wonder about, Will, the other thing that I wonder about is what is the long-term effects of putting children on these drugs? We don't know because they're not nothing that I know of has been a study on that. Furthermore, there's not enough of them old enough to really do that study.
Right.
So, I mean, if you have someone who's been on Ritalin since they were age 6 and now they're 25 or 30 years old, are they still on it? Did they get off of it? Did it cure them of their supposed ADD? I don't know.
No, it's hard to say. Like you say, these generations now are the guinea pigs. We're going to see
And the other thing is, remember, we learned this a while back with the bad parents. What is the result of putting an adult taking their children's Ritalin drugs? Well, it's the opposite of what it does to a child.
The thing too is every kid is different. I mean, I come from a family of 5. Well, there's 6 of us, but 5 of us were raised together. We're all vastly different, and I have 2 kids, and they're completely different. They didn't go through everything the same way. So just blanket statement, the parents must be bad. You could have a good kid and a bad kid. I have one of my best friends growing up was the bad kid, and his brothers were great. They were like normal, and he was just, I mean, I love the guy, but he was pretty wild. He did some crazy stuff.
That just goes back to what I was saying a minute ago. There are some children that no matter what you do, they're going to get in trouble.
But if you measured his parents' effectiveness on just him, when he's one of three boys, and the other 2 were just not completely normal. They probably did stuff too, but in the realm of good kid, bad kid, they were more good kid. That
also goes back to tough love. A lot of parents are not willing to give that tough love. They cover up for the bad child, and they bail the bad child out of trouble, and they let the bad child continue to be a bad child, and the bad child never learns anything from because his actions are rewarded, basically. So he continues to be what he is. Whereas if you're like my old man who told me that if I ever went to jail that I'd just sit my ass in there because he wasn't going to come bail me out. And I believed him. He probably he probably would have let my butt sit in jail and rot in there if I had done something to do that. So I didn't, but there are those who will, the child is just going to you got to give that tough love, and a lot of modern parents are just not willing to do that.
No, and I think not facing the consequences of your actions, or doesn't teach you the responsibility of it, has created, because I have seen, and like I said, this is only the people who comment on internet posts. For example, There was this news story locally here where they reported that a woman got arrested because she was at the self checkout at Walmart, and the person before her got cash back, but walked away and left the cash in the till. The next lady online, right behind her, grabbed the money and used it to pay for her groceries, and didn't say anything to anyone. So, would you be surprised if more than one person in the comments, actually the majority of people in the comments, were saying that she shouldn't have been arrested because that was found money?
Well, it kind of reminds me of what Chaucer said in the Canterbury Tales. He said, "If gold rusts, what will iron do? If the ones who are supposed to set the example are doing bad, what do you
Yeah.
the kids are going to follow."
Like
in
I
the
said,
same
there's
footsteps.
a time and a place for everything. If you saw the person
Let
spend some money,
Joner's itching to talk there. Will
yeah,
let's
go ahead.
hear what Joneser has to say, man.
You got me into something that catches me in the fields, and it was what Jim said about the gold and the iron, and if you're not doing the right thing and you're supposed to be, here's my take on society is the shopping cart. You take your shopping cart out of Walmart, Target, wherever you are, and then you see the fool that just throws it in the parking lot wherever, or there's the guy that takes it back where it belongs. Now, you're not going to get arrested if you just leave it wherever. You know what I mean? But that's the wrong thing. So it's like, I think to me that's
I was shocked.
test.
I was shocked by the comment section, so much so that I took screenshots of it, and I started asking people I know. I was like, "Hey, if this situation happened, what do you think the right thing to do was?" So, but obviously you're in the middle of nowhere. There's no other humans around, and there's a small pile of money on the ground, and you pick it up and you look around and there's no one there. A small amount of money. It was like $40. It wasn't much. Obviously you would just keep that, because what are you going to do? You're not going to fight. You're going to start putting up posters and everything, but if the person was standing right in front of you and you saw them dispense that cash and then or if someone walking in front of you drops a bill on the ground and you're in an establishment with people around, she could have easily said to the clerk, "Hey, this woman left $40 in the cash machine here. She'll probably be right back." The woman did come right back, but by the time she came back, this woman, they looked it up on the camera, and they said she just immediately walked up, grabbed the money, and used it to pay for her own purchase, and then left. And they arrested her for it. And like I said, there
Yes,
were
they should have.
Yes, there were
Right.
so many people that were saying it's the main excuses were it's only $40. It's a small amount of money. Finders keepers.
I wouldn't
And
care if
to
it was a-
me, yeah,
I
to
wouldn't
me,
care
it's
if it was a nickel. But I mean, this
Mm.
is a guy who grew up reading comic books all his
Sure.
life and watching Superman and thought, right and wrong and justice and what is supposed to be true and good.
yeah.
And I've always tried to teach my children to have morals and to know
The
See, that's the
alarming-
thing. A lot of people don't
You know
have
what's right.
morals. A lot of
You know,
people
there
don't
was-
have
well,
morals anymore.
There was
They-
a lot
they-
of
they
people
believe-
who were very vocal in a public
Yeah, well,
forum. It was a Facebook post. but,
That's the point,
know,
Will.
yeah.
A lot of people do not have morals anymore because
But they weren't
they
ashamed
don't
of
have
it.
an
They were
example. They don't
saying
have an example was never set for them, and the morality has been drilled into people's
Yeah.
head that your reality is whatever you think it is, and that's bull crap. We know it's bull
Yeah.
crap.
yeah, it just made me wonder, what does that say
Your
about
right and wrong
people
may not be my right and wrong, and that's
who
bull
were
crap.
commenting on that,
Right. Morality can't be relative to one situation or
Yeah.
another. There has to be some standard.
I mean, it really messed me up for the whole day because I just read that while I was drinking coffee in the morning, and then
Yeah.
I saw the story and I was like, "Oh, they got her, good." They arrested her.
And-
Well, the moral
And
of
then I
that
started
story,
reading the
Will,
comments.
is
yeah.
don't read the comments because
I
would
know.
imagine that who's commenting there is what I like to call the lunatic friends.
It was
They're
probably
not,
over 100 people. It wasn't just 2 or 3 people. It was
right.
hundreds of comments because, well, then it
Well-
went into people
that's
arguing and
that's the
counter.
vocal minority, and the silent majority is the go along to get along crowd who just don't say anything.
Well, yeah,
And most
no.
folks that are going to do the right thing, they're not going to get on there and put their 2 cents in. They're just going to do the right thing and go on with their day.
Well,
I
you know what? I think it was either Mark Twain or Will Rogers. They both had great saying. This said, "Don't argue with an idiot because they'll just drag you down to their level and beat you with experience."
Yeah. Well, that's
There's
the thing. Like I
another
said,
one that-
yeah.
There's another one like that. It's never argue with an idiot because the people watching can't tell which one's the idiot.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I said like arguing with someone on Facebook is like arguing with the sun not to rise. You know, like
that reminds me of a great saying. If you ever go into a poker game and you can't figure out who the mark is, you're the mark.
Yep. Like Grandpappy used to say, it's like putting a fancy hat on the pig. It annoys the pig and it ruins the hat.
I can tell you guys
Right.
a funny story.
Susudio says, I see people drop money. I see people drop money all the time. I give it to the person that dropped. If nobody is around and it's on the floor, on the ground, that's different. Correct. That's what Will was saying, but I always remember, I love this. I always remember the episode of the Andy Griffith Show. And see, used to that's the kind of fare that we would watch on television, unlike the crap that's on TV now. But Opie found a wallet with $50 in it. I'm sure each of you have seen that. And he immediately, thought that it was his money. And Paul said, no, we'll keep that money for a certain period of time and see if the owner comes to get it. And of course, on the day right before the time in which they had set, Opie was eagerly awaiting the clock to tick, and when it got the money, all right, off he goes with the money and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, the man actually showed up with the money and Opie gave it back to him. And of course, Andy thought he went on a spending spree with the money, but Andy had to eat crow. But, but the point of all of that was, even if you find the money, you're supposed to take it to the police station, let the police hold it for a period of time and see if the owner shows up for it.
Sure. And if it was a significant amount of money, I think that would be the right thing to do. But, we're talking just a couple dollars here and there.
Yeah.
Are you really going to take the day off of work and drive
on the ground? If you walk around looking at the ground long enough, you're going to find some money.
Sure.
Or you're going to get hit by a bus because you're not looking where you're going.
Exactly. More than likely, I would get hit by the bus. And you
one time when I was a teenager, I found a wallet and it had the guy's license in it, and the address. So me and my friend said, what should we do? And I said, well, I think we should take it back. Maybe they'll give us a reward or something, for returning it. The guy actually left the wallet on top of a payphone. And I went to use the payphone and I found the wallet. So we rode our bikes all the way to this freaking house. It was like, 2 or 3 miles away. And I knock on the door. Hi, I found your wallet and I'm returning it to you. This old lady comes out. She goes, what? And I go, does, Michael, whatever, live here? And she's like, huh? And I'm like, wallet. I found a wallet. Ow. Slams the door.
Well,
grabs it out of my head.
Remember, no good deed ever goes unpunished.
I know, but it was just funny. We laughed all the way home, but we were just like, son of a bitch.
I gotta jump in here. I have a real world story. This is about $10. Okay, I'm going to the local convenience store, and there's a lady there who's just kind of, I don't know, flighty. She should not be someone who works at a cash register. You know what I mean? She's talking to the person next to her. She doesn't even know what's going on in front of her with the customer. Well, anyways, I brought my little cup of coffee or whatever, and I paid with a 10. And then when she turns around and makes my change, she changed me like I paid with a 20. So she gave me back more money than I gave her in the first place. And so I'm like, excuse me, you did something wrong. And right away, no, I didn't. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, man. You didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't do anything wrong. And then she starts arguing with me and getting loud. And I didn't know what else to do. So I just got louder and I just went, you gave me back more money than I gave you. You know? And
Good
then
for you,
finally
Jones.
the
I
manager
probably would have considered it like a monopoly card, bank error in your favor.
Mhm.
Right. And
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's just, I'm not built that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just
He's
like,
like yelling at you.
but if there was ever a time to just go, thank you,
Yeah.
just walk away, you know.
She would have definitely
But
figured it out at
kudos
the end
to
of her
you,
shift.
Jones, for doing the right thing.
Well, and it did work out pretty good because the manager there, she, you know, figured it out. She counted out the register quick, said you got a couple minutes, and I said for $10, and then she's like, I'd appreciate it. She counts it out. She's, you know, thank you for doing that. And she knew me, as we're in a small town here. And she's like, so you guys working this morning? She's like, how about you guys? And she gave us a bunch of donuts for me to take to
Oh,
the
that's cool.
workers
Cool.
at work for doing that. So everybody at my work got free donuts because I gave back $10 that didn't belong to me. You know.
Well, you know, in the long term, it's all about reputation. When you do the right thing and nobody's looking, and you do the right thing when somebody is there, people know, and that you get a reputation for being a solid dude, and that's going to take you where you need to go.
Exactly. And it was the right thing to do, even though it was the wrong person to do it for.
Right.
I'm sure. Well, if the internet taught us one thing, it's that, you know, no matter what opinion you have, there'll be someone with an opposite or opposing opinion, and they will be verbal about it.
Let's talk about the internet since we're all adults here.
Uh-oh.
Now remember, the internet, no matter how horrible that the thought is in your head, no matter how depraved that it is, no matter how sickening, there's somebody on the internet doing it, and there's somebody else paying them to watch them do it.
Yeah. That's like, what is it? Rule 34. Pretty much
Oh,
anything you can think of, somebody's made a porn out of it.
Yeah.
Now that, and remember, if they say they're a man, they're a man. If they say they're a woman, they're a man. If they say they're a child, they're the feds.
Rick, have a great night. But yeah, that's
All right. Good night, Brick. Something. Glad you could come in and hang out with us. I hope we didn't run you off. We're just sitting here kind of winding down, having some chat here. This late night stuff is great because you can't do this on a Sunday hangout.
That's true.
I'm going to paste
Speaking
something
of-
into the chat, and I'm going to
Okay.
see if I can. I want to make that become. Will, I sent you a DM over there on Instagram just a few minutes ago of that Santa Claus.
oh, okay,
that
cool.
Thanos.
I'll definitely, yeah, because I've got a lot of Dollar Trees around me, man. I've got like, okay, let me just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on my way to work. I
Mhm.
passed 5 Dollar Trees. One's a little bit out of the way, about 2 blocks out of the way, but I'm sorry, 6. I have access to 6 Dollar Trees. I just remembered another one because I've got 2 stores. I got one store here, one store up the way, and then there's a admin office that we go to, and there's a Dollar Tree by each one of them, and then 2 on the way. So I literally pass by, like, you know, so I should definitely be able to find it. And it's funny because they all have vastly different inventories, and I see that
Huh.
all the time. Yeah.
Is that like
I'll
a
definitely-
nationwide thing where they're that
I don't
prolific,
know
or
if
is that
they're
just a
so
Florida thing?
saturated. This city is just, like I said, I live in a really weird city because it's not only like the city itself, it's kind of like, you know how Australia is a country and a continent? It's like a county
Right.
and a city. So the city is pretty much the size of the entire county. It really should be
Okay.
split up into multiple. It's like 250 square miles is like the city.
Wow.
It's just a really vast area. So even though you're in like different parts of it, you know, they split it up east, west, south, north. It's all considered just the same place. And as such, we have like duplicates. You know, there's a Walmart, Dollar Tree,
Mhm.
Family Dollar, you know, this on the south side of town, on the north side of town. And it's just kind of, yeah, go ahead.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Have you guys experienced this? Dollar Generals are like cancer. They're everywhere. I mean, you be riding and you're in the middle of nowhere, and then on the side of the road there's a freaking Dollar General. What is the deal with Dollar General? And it's a shit store to begin with. We got one here in town, and there's nothing in town here. And then they're 2 miles away. There's another town, and there's a Dollar General there.
Yeah, I noticed they're building their own buildings too. They're just buying land on the side of a road or a highway and just popping
Weird.
up a Dollar Tree or not a Dollar Tree, a Dollar General.
Yeah, the Guatemalan version of that is something called Pollo Loco. It's a little chicken thing, and they put these little chicken shacks up everywhere. So everybody eats chicken, I guess. I don't know.
Does that translate to the crazy chicken?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
It
yeah,
does.
Does.
As a matter of fact, there's a dish at most of our Mexican restaurants called a P10. That's also known as pollo feliz or something like that, and it's
Happy.
basically happy chicken, you know, and it's basically it's rice with the white queso sauce over it and chicken. But whenever I think about Mexican chicken restaurant, I always think about Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Got excited for a second there.
Ooh, but it ain't. Ooh, but it ain't.
Nope.
But yeah, Rolo told me that in Mexico they actually have that restaurant. They just because Mexican laws are not American laws, and they just don't give a shit. They'll break copyright, trademark. They don't care. So the Chicken Brothers are an actual restaurant in Mexico.
really.
Wow.
I
Will
would've
was
retired
mentioning-
on that one.
Yeah. Will was mentioning how somebody left a wallet on top of a phone. Has any of y'all done this or seen someone do this where you'll be busy and sidetracked and you'll put your coffee cup on top of your car as you're getting in?
Mhm.
How many of you have made it home and the coffee cup is still on top of the car when you get home?
Mhm.
I've actually done that once. was
No, I
impressive.
usually experience the brown liquid going down. Ah!
I did
And
it
of
with a
course- and of
pizza
course,
once.
your favorite coffee cup is now either destroyed or ruined or broken because when it hits that asphalt, it just shatters.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did it. I did it with a pizza when I was a pizza delivery driver when I was
Oh
17.
no.
And it's because this girl was talking. I came out the back door. I was going to get my car. This girl said hi to me, and I started talking to her. And then I got like all nervous and everything, and I unlocked my door, got my
She's
car.
talking to me. She's talking to me.
Yeah, like pulled out, but she was staring at me. So I'm like, oh, I think she's like, So I'm waving to her, and she's just looking at me. And I drive out of the parking lot. I get to the delivery, and then I like look over my seat, and I'm like, where's the pizza?
Oops.
Yeah, because the whole time I'm like, just thinking about this interaction I just had, and I'm kind of daydreaming about
So was that
all this
back
stuff.
in the days when you had to go back and give them a free pizza?
No, I had to go back and tell my horribly mean boss what I did.
Uh-oh.
You're
And
fired.
no, he laughed. He thought it was the funniest damn. So I pull up. I'm looking at the seat, and I'm like trying to figure it out. So I just start driving back, and I'm like, "What the hell happened? I don't even I couldn't even make." And of course, as I'm pulling in, I see it just on the road, and I had to go back and tell him what happened. I explained it just kind of how I explained it to you guys, and for once he laughed, and he just gave me a new pizza, and I was a little late, but it worked out. But he never let me live it down. But
Oh, of course not.
At least you can blame it on a girl.
God, we're gonna have to teach him that it's okay to fucking vape. That is so annoying, man. I'd rather see you vape than you do that.
At least give us a picture of the Clamato when you go off to do your vaping.
I swear. Now we can't hear you because you muted yourself.
I was talking to someone. It wasn't the face. I'm, just I'm hearing you guys, and I'm having a conversation here. I was just talking to someone else.
I wish.
What's that when you got Junior? Jones?
Yeah, reprint again, but
Oh, wow.
But it ain't. But it ain't.
I think I'm gonna keep these though.
It was either Sensational Spider-Man or Marvel Tales. It was one of the two where they reprinted all of those old issues of Spider-Man all over again back in the 80s. Do you remember them doing that, Jones? Or
I don't. You'd mentioned that the last time I think we live.
that was the way I read those old issues, because I started going to the newsstand and getting those issues, and I had them for the longest time. I don't have those comics anymore.
Cecilio's wondering, Bill, if you're going to be on next week.
Susudio asked me a question here. Hold on, fellas. I tried to show it. There we go. Am I going to do a stream next Saturday? No. I'll say that once again. And I started talking about that earlier today, but I got sidetracked, I guess. Yeah, they're putting me on 12s and 16s all next week, and probably all the way up until the 23rd, which I've asked off for the 23rd and Monday. So I'm going to get a nice little holiday there at Christmas. But I'm not going to do anything until after New Year's. I'm going to go ahead and put the channel on hiatus or hold or whatever you call it for the holidays until starting after this tomorrow. Today at 12 noon, I will be doing my hangout, and then next week I won't be doing any live streams until after New Year's.
Yeah, between the holidays and spending time with kinfolk, you got enough going on.
Yeah, and that, and I figured that Christmas week everybody's gonna be spending time with their family, or they should be, and those who cannot or don't want to can always go over to Grindhead Jim, who will be doing his a holiday stream where you can watch him crash cars or whatever.
Yeah, he'll play some video games and play some music, and just it's a good thing he does for single folks or guys that just don't really want to do the holiday thing. He gives them an option. Just
I've
so
got
they
to
don't
go
feel
see
alone.
a man about a horse. I'll be back in a
Alrighty.
sec.
Yeah, it's holidays aren't the best time for everybody. You get the holiday blues, or some folks just don't have family around or what have
Sure.
you. So
I'll tell you, with working retail, it's one of the only guaranteed days off that, like, and no one can even call me because there's no business happening. So it's great because it's just like, just no worries, nothing could happen. So it's always been a day of rest for me, for like the last 20 years. It's been one of my guaranteed days of rest. Like, there's nothing that could happen unless, like, something, the store burns down or something.
that is one of the nice things about living in a place where people take a little slower pace. December, pretty much everything in Guatemala shuts down the closer you get to Christmas, whether it's because of religious festivals or feast days or what have you. They're not so serious about trying to keep things open 24/7.
Which is good. I think it's a sign of a good community,
Yeah.
where things are okay. It seems like every year here just gets, the population's been growing exponentially here in my area, and it just seems like every year, like right now, the traffic is horrible here because we get like a 50% influx of population. It's just like, and you find yourself waiting at traffic lights more than once, and you're like, son of a bitch, what happened? And it's just more people. And
being a military brat, I've bounced around from city to city, so I got to see all kinds of flavors. But my folks' hometown, which I guess was what I would call a hometown, was kind of like Mayberry. You had the one traffic light, one post office, a barber shop. That was about it.
And
Yeah, as a matter of fact, my town when I was growing up was so uptight too. Like the pizzeria got an arcade machine, and they went nuts. They were like, "Kids from other towns are going to be coming here just to play this arcade. Get it out!" And they like, had like a town meeting about it and everything. It was the Donkey Kong, but it was the table
Oh
version
no.
where you
Right.
could sit down at the table and play Donkey Kong while you ate your slice of pizza. Couldn't have it
And
in
this
our town. So we used to
that
have to get on
caused
our
a
bikes
city
and
panic.
yeah, and go to like there was this Flimpy shop, two towns over. We'd have to ride our bike to
So if you
oh,
go
got
play
Pac-Man
arcade.
fever, you had to go on a hike.
Mm-hmm.
Susudio says you didn't get to see her sunshiny face tonight. If you want to come on, Susudio, I'll be more than happy to email you the StreamYard link if you want. You just let me know. I
I think
saw that
she's
yawn,
feeling a
Will. You've
little
been up way
under
too
the weather.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not trying to yawn on cam.
Stop. It's okay. I pick my nose on the camera every once in a while. I don't give a crap anymore.
As long as you pick a winner, it's okay.
Well, remember, the rule of thumb with that is you can pick your nose and you can pick your friends, but you cannot pick your friend's nose.
That's a good way to live.
Fair.
Yeah, so I saw the Santa. I will keep an eye out. He's a kind of
Now,
gremlin.
the thing
Gremlin
about that
looking.
Santa, Will, the thing about that Santa, Will, is I think that it's on the head was placed upon a He-Man body. I don't know what it actually looks like, but that's what the face looks like, and that's what the costume looks like.
Yeah, no, I'll look for him though. But that's great. Yeah, anytime you could find like an outfit that'll fit. I even look through like like I said, I'll look through the girl stuff. Even today when I was at Walmart, they had like this accessory pack and it had like stuff. Sometimes those the girl figures are small enough that the little dresses or t-shirts or whatever will fit on a like an action figure. So unfortunately, these didn't look. Oh, Studio said she's going to go sleep, go night night.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I sent you the link, but that's okay, sweetie. You go to sleep. You said you were sick anyway. You probably need your rest.
We'll see you.
And,
Have a Merry
of course,
Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the time here. It looks like we probably got a little more than maybe a little less than 20 minutes left for the show anyway. So we're only going to stay on a couple hours so that everybody can get sleep.
Yeah, you need some.
I-
Like I said, I've been
the-
just working like crazy. I missed everything last weekend. I haven't been on any streams. I've got a lot of back videos to watch too. When I look through my subscriptions feed, there's tons of stuff I haven't seen.
Well, sir,
I've gotten to the point where I watch stuff, but sometimes I just let stuff slide because I can't watch everything, and I've only got so many hours to do things in the day that eventually you just got to say, okay, I just got to keep going.
Yeah.
And
sir, I gotta see a man about a horse myself, so I'll be right back.
sure, go ahead, man.
Yeah, he worked through that whole stack.
Not exactly sure how to pause the cam.
Coffee is like a good neighbor. Coffee is like a good neighbor. It comes to visit, but it don't stay long.
That's a popular horse because I hear it calling me too, but I'm just going to get more coffee.
I thought about just putting a Gatorade bottle in here.
Oh boy. I don't think I want to see that.
No, you don't want to see that. You wouldn't see that, but then I wouldn't have to leave. I'd just be kind of doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd see that smile on your face and I think we know what's going on. You're like, hold on.
That reminds me of the episode of South Park where Cartman became a gamer and he was gaming 24/7. Did you remember that, Will?
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
All right. So it was around the time that Xbox first came out, right? And so what they're having to do is they're having to grind through this game because there's a griefer that's giving them all this grief. so they have to go grind killing wolves or something in order to get. So they're gaming 24/7, and of course they all get hugely fat, have pimples all over their face. And Cartman's like, Mom, I gotta go to the bathroom, Mom. And she comes in with the bedpan in her hand. He just craps in it, and he's gaming the whole.
She holds it while he uses it. Oh, God. It's horrible. Oh my God. I gotta look that up. That's sick. That is sick. That is funny though. I mean, it's I've definitely held it in for a little longer to get through a level or something, but never done anything like that.
And of course the griefer is hilarious. He just sits there, and every time they respawn, he's camping them. So he's
That's something else. That is oof. I'm trying to see if I got access to. I don't have any of the.
yeah.
Oh, I picked up I got something that finally showed up. I've been waiting for. I got the you may already have these, Bill. This is the
new stuff.
Playmates
Yeah.
Star Trek. And these are the old ones. I bought the Bridge Crew set that they did a while back. And so there's
Yes,
old
I do
Bones.
have those. I've got I've got that in package. Although we removed the figures from it, I think we put them back in it. It was for Paula. That's one of Paula's toys.
I kept the package, and then I found a fellow that had there she is, Nurse Chapel.
Yeah.
And I've got Yeoman Rand as well, the gal that was always trying to, keep Kirk on his toes.
Well,
So
you know
I
what
thought that's
happened?
kinda
You know what
neat.
happened to the actress that played her, right? She got fired.
Yeah, I don't
It was all
remember the
sad
whole
and
story, but
But
they did.
she showed back up for a cameo there in the motion picture, if you remember.
Yep, she was in the transporter scene, and I think she did show up in one of the other later films too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there was some sort of controversy about her on the original television show.
Yeah, I think it was she didn't get along with one of the producers, or she didn't go to the casting couch. I can't remember exactly what that was.
Yeah. But I've looked at some different versions. I thought about getting some of the newer Mego Star Treks that were kind of like the ones we had as kids, but these Playmate ones, I found them for a good price, and they fit the bill.
They
They
look
kind of remind me.
wonderful. The articulation is for shit, but they do look wonderful.
Exactly. I just wanted something to put on display with my Enterprise, and they remind me more of the animated series as far as their look. But
I actually like the animated series. I have the whole season on DVD.
Yeah, it's a good show. I mean, some of it's a little goofy, but you had the original voice the original actors doing the voices for most of it.
There's still some up in the air controversy about whether that's canon or not.
Yeah, because they introduced some characters like the original captain of the Enterprise, and it's like, was he, or was it Pike, or was it somebody else? Or
I think April was the original captain of the Enterprise, according to canon, and like the episode with Spock's childhood is considered canon as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the goofiest one though was when they made the giant Spock replica on the weird planet they visited. It's like, okay, now you guys are jumping the shark a bit.
Well, I don't think that's any worse than Spock's brain.
Oh yeah, season 3 was not some of their best work.
Season 3 was really, really bad. It seems like back in the 60s, the season 3 was always the sucky season. Batman season 3 was awful.
But you got Batgirl, so you had something pretty to look at.
Batgirl and Eartha Kitt, but if you remember, they even resorted to having cardboard cutout backgrounds.
Yeah,
awful.
And there were some scenes where they had stand-ins because they didn't want to pay the actors that were normally playing the special guest villains.
Mm-hmm.
So they had lookalikes because they were cheaper.
Season 1 and season 2 were excellent. And of course, you kind of shoehorn the movie in between the two seasons because that's when it came
Right.
out.
That and the animated filmation that they did after that was pretty fun.
Well, see, they had a little money when they made that movie, and that so they had the Batcopter in it and the Bat Cycle in it, and they just recycled those scenes into the second season of Batman whenever Batman needed to fly the Batcopter or get the Bat Cycle out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they got a little fancy with some of the gadgetry.
Now, speaking of Bat Cycles, we all know that there was a die-cast 1/12 version Bat Cycle that was released several years ago, which I haven't won, and that came out in two versions, one with figures on it and one without.
And that was Hot Wheels, I think, put that out.
Hot Wheels did that, and of course, McFarlane just released the Bat Cycle for the McFarlane figures of '66 Batman, which I saw one. It's okay. Probably would work well with those figures. But what I would like to see released is the season 1 Bat Cycle that was actually a Harley Davidson.
I'd have to go back and look at season 1.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a vastly different looking Bat Cycle than what we think of as the Bat Cycle, which is the season 2 Bat Cycle. That I think it actually had a sidecar in it for Robin to sit in that didn't release into a little go-kart.
Yeah, that would have made a lot more sense. And Lord, that funky bike that they gave Batgirl with all the fringe on it and stuff.
Oh, that was a dangerous thing to ride on too, from what I understand. And Yvonne Craig could not ride a motorcycle. She was not able to. So all of her scenes were filmed on a stationary bike with the background on it, and they had a stunt person riding it whenever she actually had to ride it.
Yeah, because it didn't look roadworthy at all.
It was not. It was dangerous. Hell, the Barrett's Batmobile was dangerous to drive because they cut the steering wheel in half.
Right. And I imagine it was kind of a long vehicle, kind of hard to get it around corners.
Radical Toys is asking us if we've seen New Wave of Superpowers. We have.
Yeah.
Not in stores, but we've seen pictures.
Yeah. Toyota recently released some pictures, I think, on Instagram and Facebook both, where he had done his magic with them to make them look a little more like actual Superpowers figures, especially
Cape Master posted today that he was working on new capes as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's working on a set of a Wonder Woman cape and magic lasso. So that because the Toddy Mack in his infinite wisdom has not released an accessory at all except for the cape for that Wonder Woman, so no magic lasso for her. But somebody had asked me a question a long time ago, and I've had it right here at my fingertips, and I'm going to see if I can get to it. A replacement lasso, and what? Let me see, where did I put the damn thing?
Yeah, now I think I got a Cape Master Wonder Woman lasso for my Superpowers Wonder Woman as a replacement.
There we go.
Yeah, right. He like included it with the cape.
Sure did.
All right, I found it. All right, look, guys, go to the hobby section of Walmart, the thread section or the hobby section, and you look for this.
Oh, there you go.
This is the perfect magic lasso material. It's just the right size, and it's better than what came with the Superpowers Wonder Woman to begin with, which looked like twisted string, in my opinion.
Right, and she couldn't hold it in her hand anyway.
No, and of course, the Toddy Mack Wonder Woman has one hand like this and the other hand like this. No shield, no sword, but it looked like she could hold it. So I'm wondering if Tidy Mac's going to release an accessory pack with stuff like that in it for the figures someday.
It's possible
Maybe.
because he did do a what he called a munitions pack for his what do you call it for the 7-inch line that he does.
Yes,
Because of this crazy thing where they're not allowing any pew pews with certain characters, even though they're known for it.
and that's why Peacemaker, the Peacemaker figure from the Peacemaker television show, comes with a sword, just exactly like the one he never ever used in the damn show.
Exactly. It's so silly. That's
Did
like
the
with
original superpowers come with accessories?
Yes,
some.
I can't really
Yeah,
remember.
I mean, Green Lantern had a power battery that he could hold in his hand.
That's right. Yeah.
Hawkman came with a mace that he could bash.
'Cause I remember
you over
that
the
it
head
had
with.
the punching action.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if that
Right.
was.
Yeah, that was always kind of a point of contention that Batman and Robin didn't have a Batarang, or they couldn't hold the steering wheel of the Bat to
Yeah,
Bat
they just had that
mobile.
very.
Yeah, they had that closed fist. I think Robin had a karate chop action, so he had an
Yep.
open palm.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the figures, some of the figures had gripping hands, and some of them didn't. I mean, Green Lantern had one gripping hand and one fist.
Mm-hmm.
So
For his
that
power
meant
ring.
that El Ashiato, if I'm saying that correctly, also had one gripping hand and one closed fist, and
The
he even had
Super
a
Amigo.
power ring on his hand.
It's funny you guys mentioned Toddy Mac, and I just got into the big pile of like Image comics and Malibu
Oh yeah.
comics, and I'm hoping to find some treasures in here, but we'll see.
So what's that? Just a lot you picked up, or?
Yeah, that's kind of how I play the game. Is I'll try to get a big lot and kind of bid smartly. And I try to play where, I mean, if I can, I'd like to be like 15 cents, 10 cents a issue, just buy a bunch of them. But it's getting harder and harder to find deals like that now, is with the internet the way it is. People kind of know what they got. And then if you do find something, hoping there's something good in there, people pick the good ones out and then just try to pawn off the crap on you. And that's really where the negotiating comes in. You'd be like, man, I'd buy this for more, but you pulled all the good stuff out of it. If you want me to take all of this, you're going to have to sing it to me for a song, or you can just keep it.
Right.
And then I hope to get at least $1 a piece for them. The way I would make some money on it. But then once you got to factor in the cost of bags and boards and my time and the time. So what you're hoping for is there's something in there that he didn't know about, and you're going to find.
Now, Joneser, do you do like package deals for story runs if somebody wants a whole story arc or something?
If I find sets, I'll keep them together and I'll try to sell them together. I don't like to break up sets just as a fan, but at the end of the day, it's a business. If someone's going to be like, I'll give you $5 for that one, you're like, take it.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me of something that I was told a long, long time ago. We're getting close to the 2-hour mark, but I'm going to tell a story. I was with a friend of mine who had a business, and we went to another business in order to buy some material from him. Things, furniture, and the guy I was with, he pointed to a table that the guy was using behind the counter. As it was his table, not for sale. And he said, "I like that table. I want that table." And I said, "Oh, come on, man! That's his table. That's not on the floor for sale." And he looked at me and he goes, "Bill, everything in here is for sale."
Well, that's true.
Did I ever tell you guys about the LaChoy rickshaw?
No.
I don't
I
think
never
so.
told you that as a kid I had a rickshaw, and it's because my dad, he was many things, but they had LaChoy was like this canned Chinese food substitute something. Anyway, the supermarket in town had this huge display with a rickshaw, an actual functioning rickshaw.
My God.
And he
Was it the
con-
pool kind, like the little man would run in front of it?
Yes, he came home with this thing one day in the back of his truck. And he said, I asked the guy how much, and he said it wasn't for sale. So I offered him whatever for it, and the guy said okay. And sold
Well,
it to him.
exactly.
We were
Everything is
running
for sale
up
for
and
the right
down,
price.
running up and down the block all day, giving each other rickshaw rides. We took it downtown. I mean, we rode this thing all over the freaking and it until the wheels fell off it because it really
That's
wasn't
cool.
built. It really wasn't built like a real rickshaw. It was a display, so it didn't take us too long to, And then this thing corroded in my backyard for like 10 years. I mean, I'd see it when I was a teenager, sitting back there. But
Yeah.
yeah, everything's for
If-
sale at some
Oh, I
point.
got a question for you, Will. Will, you've got a little
Mhm.
retail experience as a manager and everything, so I'll ask. We've been seeing on especially the YouTube groups that there's certain people who are bragging that they have the Motu display for the re-release of Wave 2, and they've gone to their Target store and asked them if they could have it, and yeah, you can have it, or no,
Sometimes
we
they
have
throw
to
it
we
in
have
the
to destroy this, so we can't sell it to you, we can't give it to you. So
Right.
what's the truth behind that?
Well, I never really worked at a place that got those like big displays. I will tell you that the only experience I have with that was Star Wars Episode 1. They actually sent like a dress up kit for an end cap to go on the gondola run, and you
Mhm.
bolt it onto the top shelf and the sides. Anyway, at one of the stores I was at, they couldn't find it. So I had to call the marketing department and I got a second one sent. After we set it up and everything, we found the original. And at some point, I wound up actually taking that home, and I had the Star Wars Episode 1 like logo and everything. I don't know what I did with it. I think I got rid of it sometime in the 2000s for like nothing. But
Were you the
uh,
one that had the Nintendo display with the
I still have it.
and that was another one that was supposed to have been destroyed, but you just took it home any damn way?
No, actually, that one was like 10 years after it was supposed to be destroyed. I mean, I think it still has a sticker on it that says property of Nintendo or something. But that was when they were going out of business and it was in their storage. The mall was like, you got to get out of your storage unit, which was across the other side of the mall and like in the basement. And we're going through it and we're throwing everything in the dumpster. And I'm like, I'm not throwing this in the dumpster. I'm taking this with me. So it was way after, those things. But some of them have some kind of agreement on them. But I would imagine those cardboard ones that you're seeing at like Walmart now, I can't
Mhm.
really see them saying that you have to destroy it. Like that seems weird because it's cardboard. I don't
Right.
know.
I'm sorry, but
Well, it's
I
kind of a
I went in when Motu Origins first started. I was trying to get one of those displays. I went over to the Walmart in Iowa. I talked to the lady and I said, I'd like to get that display. And she said, we have to destroy it. And
Yeah.
then I was like, well, I mean, where you guys ought to put it in a dumpster? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, if you put it in that dumpster right over there at a certain time and it just happened to come out of that dumpster, that wouldn't be your problem. And she wasn't playing. She was like, you'd be trespassing, sir, and we'd be calling the police. I'm
Really?
like, oh,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
done. Well,
some
then
people
with
take things so
Weird.
serious.
then with the superpowers, they had those cool displays for the superpowers. I asked the Walmart in Wisconsin if I could take that one, and that lady was like, "Yeah, we just throw them away anyway. You can have
Yeah.
it if you want, no
Because
problem."
even like I'm trying to think of like marketing material later on too, like for video games. There was a really cool when episode 1 came out. A lot of the convenience stores got those R2D2 coolers, like that they were selling drinks out of. I still wanted one of those, but I kept going back to this one store and asking them for it, and then one day it was just gone. So someone probably just slipped them a few bucks and got it.
Yeah, one of those displays that I really wish I could have got a hold of. I don't know if it was Power of the Force. One of those when Star Wars came back, they had a Millennium Falcon that was to scale with the figures, real, it was huge, and they would usually hang it over whatever section. I remember seeing that at Toys R Us and was like, man, somebody's going to get that. And I've seen them on Evil Bay for outrageous prices where people have
Absolutely.
somehow
I
absconded
had
with them.
one where I actually had it. It was when Ultimate Soldier came out, and they
Mhm.
had the 12-inch figures. They had
Right.
the helicopter for it because they sent us one that was designed to hang from the ceiling, and actually where the propeller or the rotors went in, there was just a big eye bolt, like screwed.
Oh, okay.
They drilled all the way through it, and they put a washer on the bottom, and just a big, we hung it with a steel cable from the ceiling. But that one, we kept it in my store for 2 years after the promotion was over, and that one came home with me. I sold it on eBay though; it was too big. But yeah, some guy bought that from me, and I sold it for like $40. It's like crazy. But so
Sounds
sometimes
like we're
is that the wind down music? Is that you're playing us off?
yes, sir.
Unfortunately, the 2-hour mark, we're about 5 past it. So we're getting ready to wind it down. So I'll give everybody a chance to say their final thoughts. I'll start with Joneser down below me.
Now it's time to say goodbye. I'm done.
Will.
Yeah, so I just have this.
Burn, baby, burn.
Finally. And then you turn the camera off.
Ninja Vanish. That's it.
Best exit
that's my
ever.
that's my smoke bomb.
There
I'm
you
out.
go in Largo.
Well, I'll
My-
run into most of you fellas in the peanut gallery or chat somewhere, but if I don't see you, have a Merry Christmas and enjoy the holidays.
Largo, if you'll stick around after the show's over for just a minute or so, I'd like to speak with you. And Joneser, if you want to hang out too, you can, but I'm fixing to end this one. I'm glad everybody came by to visit tonight. We didn't stay up all night. We never will, but we had to do something to have fun and kind of wind down. And everybody just remember, together we shall triumph. And until next time, I bid you adieu.
Special thanks to these supporters on Patreon. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like and subscribe and share the video.